Oh, oh, oh. Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Saraswatyai Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Sadashivasamārambhām Shankaracharya-madhyamām Asmadacharya-paryantām Vande Guru-paramparam. Shruti-smriti-purāṇānaṁ Ālayam Karuణālayam Namāmi Bhagavat-pāda Shankaram Lokashankaram. Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badharayanam Sutrabhashya Kritav Vande Bhagavantav Punah Punah. Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahmavidvaram. Sadgurum Brahmavidvaram. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvi Navaditamastu Mavid Vishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sarva Vedanta Siddhanta Gocharam Tamagocharam Govindam Paramanandam Sadgurum Pranatosmyaham. Hari Om. In the verses beginning from 41 and all the way up to 47, the Guru has accepted the disciple and first gives him Abhaya Pradhanam, makes him fearless, makes him comfortable. He also very clearly said, I have understood what your problem is. And I have also diagnosed your problem. Not only that, there is a remedy for it. It's a cure for it. You can take care of it. And he said that is Shraddha Bhakti Dhyana Yoga Mumukshoho Muktehe Hetun Bhakti Sakshat Shrutehe Gehi Yova Yeteshu Eva Tishtati Amushya Moksha Avidya Kalpitat Dehabandhat. Medicine is the eternal Vedantic wisdom. And I know how to administer that medicine also. So you are in good hands. So teacher summarized, then in the 47th verse, Ajnana Yogat Paramatmanah Tavahi Anatma Bandha Tatayeva Samsritihi Tayoho Viveka Udita Bodhavannihi Ajnana Karyam Pradahet Samulam. remove everything. We will go down to the root of the problem, get rid of it. So this is what we have seen so far, what we did last class. So the problem is self-ignorance. Self-ignorance has led to self-misconception. The ignorance with regard to the self is not knowing I am Purna, I am full, I am complete. So the misconception is in the form of Aham Apurna, I am incomplete. That's what I'm thinking. So this superimposition, this adhyasa of incompleteness, that is the problem. So in technical language, ajnanam, ignorance, plus adhyasa, superimposition, that's what constitutes the problem. Therefore, we have to attack this mixture. Ajnana yoga paramatmanah tava talks about ajnana and tayoho viveka udita bodha vannihi. It talks about adhyasa removal. So ignorance plus error is the total problem. And the medicine is jnana, knowledge. Knowledge about the self. And here, before jnana medicine is administered, the seeker must be fit also. So all the religious disciplines are to make one ready for that, eligible for this jnana. The Veda Purva Bhaga, the Karma Kanda, gives the fitness. And Veda Anta cures the disease. So Viveka Udita Bodha Vannihi Ajnana Karyam Pradahet Samulam will destroy both the disease and its cause. We've seen up to this so far. So today we continue with verse 48. Let us read. Shishyavuvacha Kripaya Shruyatam Swamin Kripaya Shruyatam Swamin Prashnoyam Kriyate Maya Prashnoyam Kriyate Maya Yaduttaramaham Shrutva Yaduttaramaham Shrutva Kritartasyam Bhavanmukha Yartasvayam Bhavanmukhat Shishyavuvacha Kripaya Shruyatam Swamin Prashnoyam Kriyate Maya Yaduttaramaham Shrutva Kritartasyam Bhavanmukhat. So with the 47th verse, the acceptance by the Guru is done. Accept by the Guru is done. And taking the responsibility of guiding the Sishya, that is over. The Guru has taken charge. Okay. Now in the following two verses, 48 and 49, the Sishya puts a question to the teacher. And this time, the questions are more pointed, more direct. Question. Initially, when the student approached the teacher, he surrendered. And what he spoke about was in general terms. Oh Guru, I am suffering. I have confidence in you, and you please help me. Now the question is much more specific. Because the teacher, while accepting him as a student, has indicated the problem. Some specificity is there regarding the problem, the 47th verse. So the diagnosis has been given. Therefore, the Shishya has a more pointed question. If you recall, in the last verse, while talking about the problem, the Guru used certain technical words. He said, Ajnana Yogat Paramatmanah Tava. The Guru had said that you are the Atma. But Shishya does not know what Atma is. Even for us, when we hear the word Atma, we look at the dictionary, Sanskrit to English dictionary. Atma is translated as a self in English. Such dictionary meanings will not be of much help. We do not know what exactly is meant by self. So one technical word used by the Guru is Atma. And he also said, because of ignorance, you, the Atma, are connected or bound to the Anatma. The ignorant binds you, binds the self to the not self. Therefore, the second technical word that the teacher has introduced is Anatma. Now, what is Anatma? That also we know Anatma is opposite of Atma, but I don't know what Atma is. So, two things I don't know so far. Then he said, Anatma Bandha. Again, the word Bandha is a technical word here. A simple translation will not do. Bandha means bondage, shackle. But I cannot take the literal sense. Because I don't see any chain or shackle on my body. I'm free to move about. I'm not chained. So what is this chain? What is this bondage you're talking about? So he also had used the word Vivekacu, again translated in English as discrimination. What do you mean by that? And this word discrimination, especially in the current context, it's a bad word. A lot of problem with that word. A lot of confusion in its meaning. So we cannot take it just like that. So there are all these words are used in a technical sense. Atma, Anatma, Bandha, Vivekaha. So we need clarity. The student wants clarity. And the student also has some follow-up questions. Bandha, bound, there has to be freedom. So removal of that bandha is moksha. So what is this freedom from these chains? How do I get out? Enough. Even though the word moksha has not been said by the teacher, he has talked about removing the bondage. So that question comes to the student. He also wants to know, how did that bondage come about in the first place? How did this samsara come? After all, we hear always that the Lord is all compassion. Bhagavan is Karuna Murti, Kripa Sagar. personification of compassion, so ocean of compassion, all that we hear. If Bhagavan is so sympathetic, so compassionate, why did he create samsara for me? And then promises us that he will liberate us. So all these questions naturally comes to anybody. And in this case, the student, well-qualified student, naturally would raise these questions. Therefore, there is a list of 7 questions that he poses in verse 49. I've said this before. This is the key verse of Vivekacu. So you should remember this verse. The rest of the text, 532 to be precise, are answers to these 7 questions. So what are the 7 questions we are going to get? First, he introduces the 7 questions in the 48th verse, and the actual questions are posed in the 49th verse. He says, Hey Swamin, O Lord. Shishya is no more looking at the Guru as an ordinary person. O Lord, he addresses him. Ayam prashnaha maya kriyate. This list of 7 questions is presented by me to you. I'm asking these 7 questions. As I said, the list comes in the next verse. Kripaya Shruyata. May you kindly please listen to these questions. Very important, you asking. And I ask these questions because Yadu Uttaram Aham Shrutva. Aham Shrutva, after I listen to them, listening to these answers, Yad Uttaram, the answers, which answers when I listen to them, Bhavan Mukhat, directly from you. I am posing these questions to you and I want to hear the answers from you. Please do not refer me to somebody or to some library or some books or say, go ask ChatGPT. Now it answers all questions. Go ask, you'll get the answer. No. I want to hear it from you. Kritarthahasya. Then I will be fulfilled. I will get the right answer. I know I have gotten the right answer. If I get this knowledge, the fulfillment will be philosophical, which includes intellectual fulfillment, emotional fulfillment, and even physical fulfillment. Such an all-encompassing philosophical fulfillment is here as Kritartha, accomplished all goals. So this is the introduction to Sapta Prashna, the 7 questions. Now let us see what those questions are. Verse 49. Ko nama bandha katamesha agatah. Ko nama bandha katamesha agatah. Katam pratisthasya katam vimokshah. Katam pratisthasya katam vimokshah. Kosavanatma paramah katma. Kosavanatma paramah आत्मा तयोर्विवेकः कथमेतदुच्यताम् तयोर्विवेकः कथमेतदुच्यताम् को नाम बन्धः कथमेष आगतः कथं प्रतिष्ठास्य कथं विमोक्षः कोऽसावनात्मा परमः क आत्मा तयोर्विवेकः कथमेतदुच्यताम् very key verse. The last verse was introduction to this verse. This opens up the entire. On this question, answers to this question is the entire text, Vivekacu. So we'll first see what these questions are. Question number 1. Ko nama bandha. What is bondage? Bandha, bondage. Ko nama. What do you mean by bondage? This word bandha is used in all Indian philosophical literature. Spiritual bondage, which is otherwise known as samsara. The word samsara is known to everyone. Samsara means spiritual bondage, the bondage resting with the basic self-identity problem. This is called spiritual bondage. Question number 2. Katham eshaha agatah. How did this bondage come? What is the cause of this bondage? How does this bondage come into existence? You know, when we have sickness, illness, etc., how did I get it in the first place? Everybody wants to know. In the same way, where did this bondage come from? Question number 3. Katham asya pratishtha. How does this continue to survive? Not only I got it, so persistent. How does this bondage continue? Pratishtha means continuation, permanence, persistence. How does it hang around so long? You know, everything in this creation, what we experience, goes away in course of time. Anything you see wears out. Time cures a lot of problems. This will also go away, pass away. Problem comes, stays for some time, goes away. So quite often people say, this is our experience. In due course, everything dies and goes away. Similarly, can we say that this bondage also in natural course will disappear? But our experience shows, unfortunately, all other problems seem to go away by themselves or with some effort. But this samsara bondage, I tell you, is so different, so unique. It doesn't have a natural death. Every other thing, including stars, stars die. Take a very long time, but they do. Science says that. This samsara rogue is there. Even death is not an end to it. continues in the form of birth-death cycle. Samsara is usually translated as transmigration. This birth, death, rebirth, death. That's a cycle. Huh? Even pralaya, when everything falls, even the entire creation is folded. Even then it does not go away. It lies dormant and springs more forth again in the next creation. The samsari jiva comes back. Huh? How come it is so tenacious, persistent? Katham asya pratishtha? This is the third question. Question number 4. Katham vimoksha? We got to have a solution. How can we free ourselves? This is persistent. Yeah, this is tenacious and all that. There got to be a solution. How to give up, get rid of this persistent samsara, which doesn't seem to have a natural death. So we have to very specifically work for getting rid of this samsara. It requires effort, initiative, hard work. How can we do that? How to do that? How is that freedom from bondage attained? How the shackle can be cut off? So this is the fourth question. Question number 5. Kaha asau anatma? What is this anatma business you're talking about? It's a technical word. If you translate anatma into English, as I said, it means the not self. Atma means self. The prefix a means not. Opposite gives the opposite meaning. Anatma means the not self. What do you mean by not self? How did the student get this word? The teacher has used the word in the 47th verse. So the teacher has used it and the student didn't know what it is. He wants to know. So, kaha asau anatma. What is the not self? And then paramaha atma kaha. What is meant by paramatma? Anatma I want to know. Then I want to know what atma is. Paramatma, the real self, the supreme self. We have to add the word real because there are fake ones. The word paramaha also, the student has gathered from the teacher's statement in the 47th verse, first line. Paramatmanaha was used. So what is meant by Paramatma? Sixth question. Final question. Tayoho vivekaha katam. This Atma and Anatma are there. How do you differentiate between them? How can you separate out the genuine self and the fake one? Normally, when I use the word self, what do I mean? When I say I am only seeing one entity, and the scriptures are talking about genuine I, non-genuine I. I do not see anything else here. If you ask the scientists, they do not even accept a mind other than the brain. For them, the mind is nothing but brain and its activities. Other than a bundle of bone, flesh, blood, etc., I don't see anything else in an individual. So where am I going to find out the genuine I? And what is the non-genuine I? Is there some substance called the mind which is other than the brain? If there is such a thing called mind, does it die at the time of the physical death or does it survive? And if there is such a mind, can I call that a genuine I and the body the non-genuine? Then is there something other than the mind? These are all the questions. So many confusions. As far as science is concerned, it's not even accepted the mind or sukshma sharir. Science knows and accepts by scientific method a sthula, the physical body only. Therefore, the student wants to know what is his individual personality and how do you dissect the individual personality and find out what is the real I and what is the false I. How to do that? So, katam etat uchyatam. Let answers to these 7 questions be given by you. Oh teacher, please answer these questions. This is the question or the list of questions that I have for you. You please answer these questions. So in Sanskritam, this is called pariprashna, specific directed question. So with this, the teacher clearly knows what the student wants. And the student should be specific. When you go to a guru, ask a very specific question. We get a lot of questions. So vague, so general. How to answer those questions? Questions should be pointed. The student has asked beautifully 7 questions. So this is called pariprashna. Now, what is going to be the teacher's response? That starts the next verse, verse 50. Shri Guru Ruvacha Dhanyosti Krita Krityosi Dhanyosi Krita Krityosi Pavitam Te Kulam Tvaya Pavitam Te Kulam Tvaya Yada Vidya Bandha Muktya Yada Vidya Bandha Muktya Brahmi Bhavitumicchasi Brahmi Bhavitumicchasi Shri Guru Ruvacha Danyosi Krita Krityosi Pavitam Te Kulam Tvaya Yada Vidya Bandha Muktya Brahmi Bhavitumicchasi. So the teacher first congratulates the student, compliments the student in the next 3 verses. In fact, up to verse 71, the general remarks of the teacher. General remarks. Congratulating the student and talking about the glory of this topic. The actual teaching begins from verse 72 only. From that verse, the teaching actually begins. But before that, the teacher congratulates the student for asking such questions. And that puts the student at ease also. He's feeling good, he's feeling fine. So the student must have the right attitude. Must have the right attitude. Then only the knowledge can be absorbed. So the teacher should put the student at ease. We've seen that in Bhagavad Gita, how many times Bhagavan has appreciated Arjuna's question. How many compliments he has given him. Not only that, the congratulation in this case is well deserved. Well deserved. Because majority of humanity is not interested in these 7 questions. So take these 7 questions. Okay. Go down the street and then pull people up and ask these questions. Take a survey. How many of you would ask answers to these 7 questions? Ask them. Are you interested in knowing the answers to these 7 questions? I don't know and I don't care. Would be the typical answer. Many people do not have the questions themselves. And even if you prod them, I'm not interested. Why am I born? What am I doing with this life? What's going to happen to me after death? Is there some real purpose in life? As Bhagavan Shankaracharya has asked in Bhajagovindam, Kastvam koham kuta ayatah, kame janani kome tatah. Who are you? Where did you come from? These philosophical questions do not come to 90% of humanity because they are so busy. They're so busy. They are preoccupied with artha and kama, security, enjoyment of pleasures and comforts. So busy. Yoga and kshema, acquiring what they don't have, and after acquisition, they want to preserve that. They don't want to let it go. Entire life is consumed in that. So I gave all the responsibility. Therefore, throughout the life, most of these people are bothered about artha, kama, yoga, kshema. That's all. You interview any person, will he say that I want the answers to these 7 questions? Only a very few people for whom this has become the only pursuit of life. And such people are the rare ones. They are the rare ones. And here we have this student. He's a rare one. Student happens to be one of that rare group. He has dropped everything and has come to find answers to these questions from the Guru. Therefore, the teacher says, Danyah asi, blessed indeed you are. The fortunate one, the lucky one. You are kritakrityah asi. In fact, you are the fulfilled one. What is to be done, you have done. You are liberated. Huh? Actually, the statement is not really true because the student has come looking for liberation. How can the teacher say that you are blessed with the results of what you're seeking? You've done everything you need to do. You're liberated even before the teaching has begun. The idea here is your serious desire to remove this bondage, you've come to the right place. And therefore, liberation is guaranteed. So liberation requires only 2 conditions. The questioner must be serious. Should be a diligent student. Serious about it. Should not be a casual. The teacher must be confident that he has the answer. Seriousness of the student and the confidence of the teacher, then the job is done. As good as done. The teacher, figured out this student, very genuine student, serious student, and diligent student, not a casual one, very much interested in getting answers to these questions. And the teacher, of course, is confident that he can provide the answers, which he has already said. So the teacher says, you are liberated. Don't you worry. Kritakrityah asi. Job is done. Not only you are free, te kulam tvaya pavitam. Your family, te kulam, the family has been sanctified by you. You have made your family holy by being born in that family. In the scriptures, it is said, if a liberated person is there in a family, one member of the family gets liberated, it will bless not only that person, it will bless 7 generations. It said that. Not only the immediate family, but 3 previous generations and the next 3 generations and this present one. So that makes 7. The impact of Jnani is so great. And therefore, you've sanctified your family. So you please inspire, motivate one of your siblings to do this job for you. No. You get it done. And help the rest of the family. So the student is like that. So with that, your family has been protected, sanctified, made holy. Why you have done so? Brahmi bhavitum ichchasi. You desire to become one with that Brahman. You want to realize the truth. You want to realize the truth. The guru seems to be more enthusiastic than the student. The idea here is, there are so many families, son or daughter gets admission to medical school. They come home after the first day of classes or at the end of the semester, and he or she comes, the other family members, doctor, come, good to see you. How did he or she become a doctor? Just one semester gone. So much time. It's just a matter of time. The fact is, the student has got admission to that wonderful school, and the next years will pass. And she will pass with flying colors also. No doubt about it. So you give him the doctor degree right after the first semester. Similarly, the teacher says, you desire moksha, you desire for Ishvara Prapti, you want to gain God. People go to the temple not for Ishvara Prapti, but through Ishvara they want some other gain. You come here not asking for some other thing, this or that. You are coming here, want to get that Brahman. Brahmi bhavidumicchasi. You want to gain Brahman? Avidya bandha muktya, by giving up ajnanam plus adhyasam, ignorance and bondage. Nobody asked for all that. You are a rare one. Therefore, indeed, blessed you are. So today we have seen the 7 questions. Very important. Please review them. Keep them handy. Put it on an index card. And in my notes, I've listed them: question number 1, question number 2. Read separately in bold, I've given you. So you put them on a piece of paper, an index card, what have you. Look at it every day for a week. Yeah. So, and as we study the rest of Vivekacu, pay attention to where these questions are answered. Okay, I will point out also, but you keep watching out for it. As I said, the rest of Vivekacu is answering these 7 questions. That is why this verse 49 and the 7 questions, key verse, key questions. And Bhashyakara has started answering the question, and first he congratulated the student, and let each one of us be that kind of a student. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.